Hey guys, welcome back to Baddie and a Book. My name is Gabby and today we have a book haul. The first book that I picked up is a BookTok and BookTube favorite. Now that it has been out for a little while, there is mixed reviews. There are mixed reviews about it, but I wanted to still pick it up so that I could read it and get my own thoughts on it. But this is called The Midnight Library by Haig. The only thing that I really know about this book is that it does take place between life and death, and there is a library between life and death, and essentially it gives the main character gives her an opportunity to be able to see how her life would have turned out if she would have lived her life differently. And each book has, I guess, a different theme or a different life path that she could have taken. So I thought that would be very interesting to read. I also got this book thrifted, so it's still in really good condition and I didn't pay full price for it. The next book that I picked up is called Most of All You by Mia Sheridan. I don't really know a whole lot about this other than that this is the same author that wrote Archer's Voice. So I wanted to pick up another work by her so that I could do maybe like a reading vlog or content and later on down the line and get a full idea whether or not I like her work or not. And I must say I love this cover. The next book that I picked up is called The Friend Zone by Abby Jimenez. Now this one is a forbidden romance. This is the same author that wrote Part of Your World and Life's Too Short, so I thought I'd pick up another one by her. The next set of books that I picked up is a series. This series is called Madison Kate, the Madison Kate series by Tate James. And this honestly was just inspired by Larry Reed's. I watched one of her wrap-up videos. She read the series and loved it, so I thought I would go ahead and pick it up. And so the series comes with Hate, there's Liar, there's Fake, and lastly there is Kate. I love the consistency of the covers, just in different colors on each cover, so I'm excited to pick these up. I don't know a whole lot about them other than the fact that Larry Reed said to pick them up, so I picked them up. Now, following the Larry Reed's recommendations, I picked up none other than Mariana Zapata books. These aren't her most popular books. These are less talked about, but I thought I would go ahead and pick them up. Sometimes the best books, my favorite, may end up being a book that's not very popular, so I thought I would go ahead and pick up the rest of them. The first one that I picked up is called The Best Thing, and this one I will say is one of the ones that even Larry Reed was like, it's not necessarily her best work. It was cute, but it wasn't the best. This is also one of her shorter books as well. We shall see about this one. Regardless, I still wanted to own all of her books. Dear Erin, this one is a military romance. This is like a pen pal military romance, strangers to lovers trope type of thing, which I thought would be so cute. And it follows a girl by the name of Ruby, who she is a pen pal with someone who is in the military, and they end up falling for each other. A slow burn, but a military romance, and I thought that was cute. And then lastly, we have Hands Down. This is another sports romance. I believe this one is giving maybe second chance romance or friends to enemies to lovers based on the back of the book. But I do love this cover. It is giving, and I am excited to eventually pick this one up. The next book that I picked up, I actually went to one of my local Barnes & Nobles, and this author was right in the front. I guess he was doing a tour all over in multiple different Barnes & Noble locations all over the US to market and sell his book. So I thought that I would go ahead and pick some up to support. And this is called Dangerous Hood Dreams by Saquon Lewis. This book, I picked up two just merely because I wanted to support, so I will end up keeping one and then giving one away. Our main character is Carlos, and he is essentially essentially trying to guide his younger brother in the right path and to do the right things in life. I believe this takes place in New York, which is where the author is from, so I thought that was very interesting, and I absolutely loved the cover art. So I went ahead and picked up two of those. I'll be keeping one and then giving the other one away. The next author that I actually ended up picking up, which I'm so excited about, because if you watch any of my other hauls, you know that I like to shop on Facebook Marketplace a lot to get author bundles and to try to buy as many author bundles or as many books from one author from one sitting as possible. And so that was the case, hair on me, that was the case with these. Some of these I ended up picking up from Goodwill, but the majority of them did come from the author bundles, and that is Miss Leanne Moriarty. Majority of them came in almost brand new condition. The rest I would say are considered to be very, very good condition. The first book that I picked up is called The Last Anniversary by Leanne Moriarty. Now, this one follows a character by the name of Sophie. She inherits her aunt who had just passed a house, and it's giving potentially second chance romance. There's also mystery involved in this one, and I love the cover of this one. The next one is called The Husband's Secret. Now, this one, it follows a woman by the name of Cecilia. Now, she ends up finding a letter that is written to her from her husband that was only supposed to be opened after he passed, but he is still living. So she finds this letter and finds out a secret, and it kind of changes her whole perspective of her husband and who she thought she was married to, from what I gather. So I thought that that was very interesting. I did start reading this book a couple months ago, and I DNF'd it, not because I didn't enjoy it. I was really, really enjoying it. It kept me company while I was at the DMV. But I just ended up getting distracted and not ever finishing it. So hopefully I'll be finishing this one here soon. And then we have What Alice Forgot. Now this one follows Alice, and essentially she is a 39-year-old woman. She has 3 children, and she is on the verge of divorce with her husband. But she gets in this accident, she goes to the hospital, and when she wakes up from the hospital, she completely forgets the last 10 years of her life. The last thing that she remembers is that she was 29 years old, and she had a baby on the way, and she was married to her husband, and happily married. So this one follows her over her journey to try to put the pieces together over the last 10 years of what happened with her life. It's kind of following her in that journey and determining whether or not the forgetting the last 10 years was a blessing, or if it was an opportunity for her to switch things around in her life. And then we have 9 Perfect Strangers by Leanne Moriarty. I don't really know a whole lot about this one. This was just a bonus book that was built into the bundle, so that one came with the rest of the books. The next one is called The Hypnotist Love Story. Now, this one follows a woman by the name of Ellen, and it's giving mystery vibes. She finally gets, after failed relationships, it seems like, or just maybe her not being interested in relationships, she ended up meeting the man by the name of Patrick and is very into him. He's into her. They're together, what have you. And then he brings to the surface that his ex-girlfriend is stalking him. And so she, surprisingly, based on the back of the book, she surprisingly is very intrigued by this, and she wants to potentially meet this woman, but it's a possibility that she already has. And so that is pretty much sums up the entire story, which I thought was very interesting, low-key kind of toxic, maybe kind of crazy. She's got some wires loose there, some screws loose maybe, to want to meet the stalker. Like, not in like a it's not even in like the vibe that it's giving. It's not even like I want to meet her to kind of like put her in her place and be like, hey, like, back off. It's more of like I want to meet her. Like, that's interesting. Like, what? And then we have Truly Madly Guilty. This one is a thickie. This is probably one of the longest books. Again, I don't know a whole lot about this one. This one, it seems to follow multiple people in this book, and it was in the bundle, so I just ended up getting this with the bundle. And then we have the famous Big Little Lies, which we know is on HBO. This is probably one of her more popular books, specifically because of that. So that one also came in the bundle, and I was happy to pick this one up. This one also was one of the ones that were in pretty much like brand new condition. I could easily get the same copy in the same condition at Target or Walmart, which I was very happy about because I got all of the books for a really cheap price. So the next set of books that I picked up one from Goodwill, and then the rest I ended up picking up thrifted from, I want to say Second Sale or Thrift Books, one of those two. And it is the Matched series. Now, I will put the picture of the actual dust jackets here, but I ended up taking them off because I liked the way that it looked on my bookshelf like this so much better than actually keeping the dust jacket. And I believe I got one of these without a dust jacket anyways, and then the Matched series, or the Matched book itself, this one had a dust jacket on it, but it was damaged. So I ended up just deciding to take them off. I don't know what this book is about. It's giving YA. A lot of people have really talked about it. And that's pretty much all that I know about it. I think it might be fantasy. I guess we'll find out whenever I decide to pick these ones up when I'm looking for a mystery read. But I really, needless to say, I really love the way that these look on my bookshelf. These ones match the these ones match the height of Midnight Sun, so it makes that book, because it's so ginormous in comparison to the other Twilight series, it makes it not as obvious, or not as, it doesn't stand out nearly as much with these books next to it. So I really like that. The next book that I picked up, I don't even know how I found this. It's really hard to find this edition on Amazon. I picked this one up from Amazon, but it's really hard to find this edition just by typing it in. I don't know how I came across it. If I can, I will link it down below in case somebody else wants to buy it, because it's not something that you can just search on Amazon and it just pops up. I have no idea how I found it, but this one is called The Diary of Anne Frank, or The Diary of a Young Girl, Anne Frank, and this edition is so beautiful. I was gonna keep the original edition, but then when I found this one, because I used to have the little mass market paperback version of Diary of Anne Frank, once I found this one, I ended up just donating the other one because this one is so beautiful. I love the navy blue. I love the silver foiling. Silver foiling goes all the way around, and it's got silver sprayed edges, which, mind you, also, this was only like $15. Like, it was only like $15 for a special edition. This was a reprint in 2020, I believe, but again, absolutely stunning book. It has beautiful end pages, and then it starts with a beautiful picture of Miss Anne Frank. The other thing that I really love about this book as well is that it comes with annotations, and this book is just so damn pretty. I love it. Then lastly, listen, I've been on a classics kick, and meaning like I just really want to collect them. I'm more of on a collecting vibe with classics, not so much so to read them, but because the editions are so pretty, I really want to be able to collect them all. Of course, eventually I will end up reading them, but more so decor purposes and just collecting multiple editions of classics. That's the vibe that I'm going on. I know it's kind of bad to say that and to like just buy books just to buy books, but you know, just mind your business, okay? But I ended up picking up the Wordsworth editions of the classics. Now, these aren't all of them. There are more. There are a ton more. But I picked up the ones that were most intriguing to me, or ones that I really truly wanted to collect. So the first one that I have here is Black Beauty by Anne Sewell. This one is so beautiful. These editions are so beautiful. They have the gold foiling, the illustrations on the front. They've got the gold foiling that carries over to the spine, and then more illustrations and a quote in gold foiling on the back, which I thought was absolutely stunning. The next one I have none other than Pride and Prejudice by Jane Austen. This one will probably be one that I collect multiple editions of. One of the few here that I just absolutely love the story. I haven't read Pride and Prejudice just yet, but Jane Austen is a staple classic, and the Pride and Prejudice story is so redone and retold that it just having the original copies and different editions, it just, the romance, even if I don't end up reading this anytime soon, the romance that it gives, the vibes, the energy that it brings, I just absolutely love it. But again, gold foiling on the front, it has the illustration on the front, it carries over to the spine with a quote on the back and more illustrations on the back. And then we have Anne of Green Gables and also Little Women. Both, again, of course, these are also two that I'm probably going to collect multiple editions. I have a nostalgic connection, a sentimental connection with Anne of Green Gables because I read it when I was a child and I absolutely loved the story, the illustrated version of the story that I read at the time. So I will probably end up collecting all of the editions that I can find that are Anne of Green Gables, or even retelling stories, extension stories, etc. Same thing with Little Women. Out of all of the classics, Jane Austen books and Little Women are the two that I will that I find myself the most intrigued to actually read. So hopefully I'll read one of these here soon and then determine if I actually want to continue to collect them. Then we have The Secret Garden by Frances Hodgson Burnett. Now this one is another one, gold foiling on the front, beautiful, beautiful illustrations on the front of the book, gold foiling carried over to the spine, and then the quote with gold foiling and more illustrations on the back. And then the last book from the classics and the last book in this haul is this thickie, The Great Expectations by Charles Dickens. Now, I wish that they had come out or had known about this edition when I was in high school, because I know for a fact that I was assigned this book and I had this like baby little mass market paperback version of the book. I wasn't really that interested in reading it then. Even looking at the books, even looking at the, like just reading the first page of the book, I'm still kind of like about it. But with this cover edition, when I was in high school, I would have been more inclined to read it with a cover like this. Like, I wish I would have gotten a special edition when I was in high school that maybe I would have annotated, kept, and all of that carried over with me to my adult life and been able to keep all these years. But needless to say, beautiful edition. I love the navy blue, love the illustrations and the gold foiling and the way that it wraps over to the back with the quote on the back and the illustration. So yeah, those are all of the books that I picked up from this haul. Those are all of the books in this haul. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.